Welcome into this Hartford Showcase event on the Hartford TV. I'm Don Morrison, my partner Cheryl Silence. Cheryl, we're at Bel Air High School. It's Bel Air hosting John Carroll. We're in the top of the first inning. Left-handed pitcher on the mound is Kirsten Coppage. Always a great event when Bel Air and John Carroll get together, though it doesn't happen very often anymore.
No, it doesn't happen often anymore. I remember years ago when John Carroll still played in this conference, and it was exciting to see the competition building against one another throughout
two schools that
all
are
of the sports.
They're located 2 miles apart, and they never play one is in the IAAM, the Interscholastic Association of Maryland. The other, talking about Bel Air now, is in the Chesapeake Division. So I understand why they don't play, because their schedules are full, but it is still, in my opinion, a shame they don't play more.
Yeah, it's nice to have this exhibition game, though. So let's call it an exhibition game.
Yeah. Counts on their records, but not toward the standings in terms of getting into the playoffs.
Yep.
Late
Don,
in
we
the
got started a little bit late with our broadcast, so there's already 2 down.
And there's a ground ball right back to the pitcher, speared by Coppage, the throw to first base to Jaden Betters, and the 3 up and 3 down go the Patriots in the top of the first inning.
Little technical difficulty there getting started, but here we go. First half inning complete, and now we'll see John Carroll take the field.
Yep, we apologize for that. John Carroll 5-5 on the year coming in. Aberdeen, I should say Aberdeen. No, it's Bel Air playing. They're 9-6. So both teams having some success. Both teams have known a great deal of success in the past. Both teams a little bit short because of injuries. But today we're going to see what we hope will be a very exciting game. Always weather is a topic of conversation. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Wind, a little bit of wind, but a nice sunny day.
We'll be thankful for the sun. I did leave my shorts at home, though.
That was a good decision. Yeah. I brought along my skull cap here and my long johnnies. I'm in great shape.
You must have learned well from our Monday game.
Yeah, we were at Patterson Mill Monday, this being a Thursday. Monday was, the temperature was in the 60s, but there was no sun, and the wind was howling.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
It's hard to convince yourself that this is the end of April.
Yeah.
May's just around the corner. Oh. And we've already had plenty of days in the 70s. Not so today. Not so today.
John Carroll's pitcher, Brie Botkin. Brie is 4-3 on the year, a 2.92 ERA. Brie 36 innings on the year, 24 Ks, 16 walks, 2.92 ERA. Brie Botkin. Brie is a senior. Look around this team for John Carroll. They have a sophomore in left, a sophomore in right, freshman at second base, a sophomore at shortstop, junior at third base. Sam Scalafani at third, Sophie Anderson at short, Carissa Coates at second, Tessa Boswell is the first baseman. Botkin, as we said, the pitcher. Julie Aragon is the catcher, and again we're seeing a freshman catcher, as we saw the other day at Patterson Mill. Always amazed that a young person can become a catcher, which is the lead position on a team, that young.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these young freshmen get behind the plate, and they really do take charge. That requires a lot of confidence.
Sydney Dawson, Michaela Getz, and Brianna Hinkleman, those are the other players for John Carroll, the outfield. Leading off is Kirsten Coppage. Kirsten is the pitcher, as you know, batting left-handed, so she throws left-handed. Nice pitch open the inside corner, strike one. Right away, you're seeing that Botkin is much more of a fireballer, whereas Coppage that we saw pitching is we like to call him a crafty lefty.
Yeah.
Some people would call him a junk baller.
Every right-hander is at a disadvantage if you buy into that.
2 strikes now as we open the bottom of the first inning, no score. John Carroll went up 3 up and 3 down in that top of the first. Coppage a .409 hitter on the year.
Well, this is, you see what's going on here? It's very high tech. The catcher's calling the pitches. The pitcher looked her off, and then she looked at her armband where she has the pitches.
Yeah. It's become quite a thing now that they have that armband, and they have sort of codes that they do. Sometimes now in the major leagues, they have this electronic thing in their ear that they are giving the signals electronically.
Wow, that seems like it should be illegal.
Yeah, swung on a miss on that pitch. You notice that was the screwball. That came in, it was on the outside corner. By the time it finished at the plate, it was out by about a foot or so.
Yeah.
Unusual to see a right-hander, I'm talking about softball, with a screwball. Sort of common in left-handers, but right-handers, you don't normally see that pitch.
What makes you call that a screwball, Don?
Well, it goes the opposite of a curveball. It goes, in the case of this right-hander, from
inside
left
out.
to right.
Yeah.
There's that rise ball on the outside. Tara Trisak, the batter. Tara's a .333 hitter, shortstop for the Bel Air Bobcats.
There's a little comic relief. The catcher threw the ball to the third baseman. And not a good throw at that.
And maybe that was a freshman mistake, huh?
Maybe.
We'll call it a freshman mistake. Speaking of third baseman, Caroline Hilliard is that third baseman. She's one of the pitchers for Bel Air. We'll talk more about her as we have time. Swung on a miss. Umpires on the day. On the bases, Rick Morris. Behind the plate, Todd Petrick. One out. Swung on that rise ball. Up off the catcher's mitt. Had a chance to talk to Mr. Petrick before the game, and we mentioned that Casatino, the young, not so young, but the umpire back at Patterson Mill, you recall he got hit in the mask. You saw that game, and he did get what they said was a mild concussion, if there is such a thing.
A concussion is a concussion.
I think they hurt a lot. He hung it out. He got hit in the first inning, staggered a minute, and you could see he sat down a couple of times, but made it through the game.
Yeah, fortunate for him, not either team, but fortunate for him that that game was
blocked by the catcher on the third strike. Throws to first base. It's a wild throw, and the runner reaches first base safely on the error to the catcher. So a strikeout, but an E2. Cheryl, you saw what happened there, that the catcher, instead of moving out and getting a clear lane to throw the ball to first base, tried to throw it literally through the runner. And so it made the first baseman's attempt to maybe make that catch
almost
impossible.
Catchers are supposed to go about 3 feet inside the field, inside the foul line, to make that throw, because the runners are required to go to the orange bag or the safety bag.
There's the bunt, fielded by the pitcher, and the throw to first base. On the sacrifice, runner goes down to second base. Trisak is safe at second base. Out on the sac bunt was Caroline Hilliard. Play goes from 1 to 3. Show, it's a great call. You notice that orange bag there at first base. When we get a shot at that, you'll see it there. That's where the runner hits, and the white bag in fair territory is where the fielder takes the throw.
Yep, it's put there for safety purposes, that the runner would go outside the baseline, but it's also a good reminder to the girls not to run inside the baseline or on the baseline. We've seen some plays in Major League Baseball where that became an issue.
Lena Levy now the cleanup hitter. Lena, a .432 batter. Lena, a senior, the catcher on this team. She's the kind of cleanup hitter you want to have right in that position. Speaking of cleanup, the fence is 225 all the way around. 10-foot fence, wind blowing out. Look at a change up, hangs high.
Seems to have a good eye at the plate. I think the John Carroll pitcher is really going to have to just bring one.
Interesting that they chose to sacrifice with one out, meaning now you've got 2 out and runner at second. Not always do you see that. You'll see a sacrifice with nobody out, but now with 2 out, you know, it's going to take a base hit to get her in, which must show they have a lot of confidence in Miss Levy. Elena Levy likes to be called Laney Levy. By the way, this is senior day at Bel Air. Laney, one of the seniors who, there's that little screwball action coming in.
Don, if I'm not mistaken, the Bel Air girls also presented flowers to the seniors on the John Carroll team.
I noticed that. Boy, was that nice sportsmanship, huh? 2 down. Runner at second base. Gust of wind comes up, and you see that wind blowing from first base toward third base as the dirt is picked up and blown across.
Yeah, it was nice to see parents come out for senior day and be able to escort their girls onto the field.
way it was. That's a special, special day, senior day, because you played 4 years in many cases, and it's the last time you'll be taking the field in a regular season game on this field.
Yep, it's a shame that previous years the seniors didn't even get to play their season, let alone be escorted onto the field.
Yeah, back in 20 when there was no season at all.
Yeah, that's a game changer. You know, you miss your senior, it's the worst, but still having to miss an entire season with your teammates. And
Bobcats putting in a courtesy runner there. I'm trying to see her number so I can tell you who she is. It looks like it might be 13. No, it could be her.
12.
12, that was close. Kirsten Coppage is 12. No, 12 is Maddie Waters. Maddie Waters in as a courtesy runner for the catcher. Runners at first and second. 2 out. To bat now, Jaden Betters. Jaden Betters, the first baseman, a 375 hitter.
I'm curious why the catcher is putting on her gear in foul territory. Well, she's becoming the first base coach, and the other young lady is the on-deck batter.
There you go. Swung on and missed. 1-1 to count. Maybe a speed-up rule, huh? Great thing about softball, as opposed to baseball, is it's a much quicker game.
Yes.
You know, there's not a whole lot of time between innings, and swung on and missed. Runners will go up a base, down to first base, and she's going to be safe. So the second time we've seen a pass ball result in a strikeout and runner reach first base safely. Bases are loaded.
Just want her to put the ball in play and not try to do anything special with it. It'd be nice to see a squeeze play, but I'm not hopeful.
Kelsey Fleischman, the batter. Center fielder for Bel Air. Bases loaded, 2 out. Line drive, shortstop, fields it, throws to third base wisely to get the force out there at third base. But that was a nice play by Sophie Anderson. That was her only play, was able to flip to third base and got the force out at third. Smart play. So there were no hits in the inning, and there were 3 strikeouts, even though those 2 runners got on base, the 1 walk. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and there were three runners left on base. We have played 1 full inning, nothing to score. Exciting inning without any hits.
Not a single hit to be had.
Yeah.
But still white on every base.
Talk about, again, the importance of that catcher being able to handle the pitch, and she's learning, I'm sure, on the job in terms of, we're talking about the freshman catcher. But in that case, the bases got loaded because 3 strikeouts, but 2 of those strikeouts ended up being a runner on first base. So we played 1 full, nothing here at Bel Air.
John Carroll's young catcher is not all that tall, so when the pitcher throws as a rise, it's sometimes out of your reach.
That's a very good point. Yeah, we're seeing that ball tip off her glove on the top. Talking about Julie Aragon, the freshman catcher for John Carroll. Of course, as you know, I just effused with praise of the catcher Keebler for Patterson Mill the other day, who was able to handle Maddie Knight, the fireballing Patterson Mill pitcher, just like she was a veteran.
Yeah, handled her in a fine way.
So now we go to the top of the second inning. We'll lead off with Sophie Anderson. Sophie, the shortstop for John Carroll, number 4 hitter. 382, 2 doubles, 3 triples, 7 RBIs, and 9 runs scored. Big hole there at shortstop. As you can see, the shortstop in her normal position, so she's not thinking there'll be a lot of pulling going on. Down low.
I don't know why, but I feel like she is a pull hitter. I feel like she's going to have a quick bat,
yeah,
and just based on her stance.
Yeah, got that open stance. You're right. Yeah, if I were the shortstop, I think I'd be pulled a little bit more around toward that shortstop hole. Mm-hmm. As we speak, she does. Tara Trisak moves a step. Ground ball back to the pitcher and over her head. Second baseman fields it on the backhand. Wizard goes to first base, but not in time. Infield hit for Sophie Anderson.
Good speed. I wonder if she'll try to take off the second here in the early at-bat.
That was a tough play there for Wizard. She really had no chance to catch it in the throw in one motion.
Yeah, her momentum was taking her definitely away from first base, and it's hard to stop and spin on a dime.
Carissa Coates now the batter, one out, none out I should say, runner at first base. Squares as if the bunt, takes it. Strike one is the call. Coates a .391 hitter, a double, a triple, a home run, 5 RBIs and 5 runs scored. Top of the second inning. Squares, bunts, right in front of the plate. Fair ball, and the out is going to be recorded at first base. Good play by catcher Levy to come out and make the throw to first base, Jaden Betters.
That was a nice sacrifice bunt. There definitely would not have been a play at second base no matter what.
Sure, we talked about the catcher and getting out into fair territory to have a lane to throw, and we saw that time Levy did just that.
Yes.
She caught the ball and took a couple of steps out toward the pitcher's mound, and then had an easy throw to first base.
Yep, a little more maturity maybe at the position.
I'm sorry, Shell, the umpires were talking. I think they were wondering whether she was out of the box or maybe got hit by the ball. Talking about, and they say no, she didn't, and so the sack will stand. Runner down at second base is Anderson. Bringing up Aragon, the freshman catcher of which we spoke a moment ago. 286 hitter with 2 doubles and 7 RBIs. Grounded to shortstop. Bad hop, shortstop off her knee. Reaching first base safely, holding at third base is the runner Anderson.
I was just getting ready to comment on her small strike zone, and she hit the first pitch.
You know, and this field is a very hard field. You can tell the hops come up very quickly.
Yep.
Tough play there for Trisak. It's the kind of play where you really have to come in and field the ball on a good hop.
We're getting a pinch runner for the catcher. Number 13 is coming in to run.
Looking at our numbers, we have numbers of black team, white team, and gray team. So we have to pick out the black numbers here. John Carroll has those 3 numbers. It looks like that would be Catherine Hempel. Catherine, a freshman, will coming in as the courtesy runner. Runners at first and third, 1 out. Scalafani now the batter for John Carroll, the third baseman. .323 hitter, 6 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
And our officials are meeting together again.
Yeah, not sure what that's about.
We should put mics on them so we would know.
Yeah.
They're just not kind enough to come over here and tell us what they're talking about.
Yeah, holding secrets from us. That's not fair. Meantime, Sherry Hudson, the great coach for John Carroll, talking to her batter. Talking about Sherry Hudson, she played at Falston High School back in '85 when she graduated. Now, what's the call here? Hudson is not happy about it. Looks like it's going to go against John Carroll. Sherry Hudson saying, "You don't know what you're talking about," or something like that. So the out is recorded. That's 2 outs. So the runner.
Sherry is not done pleading her case yet.
But runners remain at first and third.
We don't know what the call was.
No, we don't. Sherry Hudson is walking out and talking to Rick Morris. Both runners are still on base, so neither runner has evacuated the base yet. The entire Bel Air team comes in to meet at the mound. Sherry Hudson pleading her case to Rick Morris, and Rick says, "Hey,
I've umpired some of Sherry Hudson's. She was a player, not a coach at the time, but she makes her point known."
It must have been an interference on the runner coming from second to third on that shortstop, because the runner at third is now off the field and she's out. So Anderson is called out. That's 2 out now on the runner at first base. Strike on the outside corner. And honestly, I see Sherry Hudson's point. I did not see the interference.
There was no contact made. Nothing says you can't run in front of a fielder.
That's correct. You have to give the fielder the right to field the ball, but where she is, that is her position. So if you run in front of her, but it looked like she hadn't reached her yet.
No, and what's interesting, the ball did pop up
Line
at a
shot,
very
foul.
high angle.
Yeah.
So did it hit the player's foot? Did it hit the runner? Did it hit a rock? We don't know.
No, I think it just hit the heel of the shortstop's glove and popped up.
Okay.
So in any
That's
event,
kind of what I saw.
the out was called, so that's a big call in this game. Instead of having first and third and 1 out, you got run at first and 2 out early in the game.
And a Spitfire at bat.
A little bit outside. A Spitfire.
Yeah. She yanked that ball.
Yes, she did.
Quite hard.
Scalafani is a 323 hitter, 6 RBIs and 4 runs scored.
Also has a small strike zone when she squats like that.
On the outside corner. And the third strike is called. That was a good pitch.
Yeah, it was a good pitch, and she wasn't expecting whatever that was.
Looked like a little bit of a curveball.
Yeah, she got caught up.
So 1 hit. There was 1 error, 1 runner left on base, no runs. So now after an inning and a half, it's 0-0, Bel Air and John Carroll.
Another scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
1 for John Carroll, 3 for Bel Air, 2 for John Carroll, 3 for Bel Air that they strand them.
Yeah, and of course John Carroll got the bad, no, I don't want to say a bad call, let's just say a call that went against them. Certainly it was an umpire call that they both consulted with each other and came up with the thought that they thought apparently the runner Anderson interfered with the shortstop. My eyes didn't see that, but again, I'm not wearing that umpire's garb either. But
Neither am I.
But you are an umpire by trade. You have done a lot of umping in your day. And again, it'll be an interesting play to look at again on replay later on just to see if there was some interference.
Having been an official and been behind the plate a lot and on the bases a lot, I don't want to doubt my fellow umpires.
Yeah.
But sometimes you call what you see.
Yeah.
You know, you have to and be kind about it and just say, well, they kind of maybe blew that. You and I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
And they saw the same thing differently.
And you have to call it in real time. You don't get a chance to see the replay.
Yeah.
So we have now what is the DP position, the designated player, Elora Edquist, who is a freshman. Elora is batting in spot of Abby Wizard in the number 8 spot, number 7 spot in the Bel Air order. Elora is a freshman. I was talking to her dad before the game, and you know, like all us dads are, you know, follows very closely her, you know, production, and just as a freshman, I said, you know, she is a good-sized young lady for a freshman. Again, my day, you expected a freshman to be this little tiny,
just barely out of 6th grade.
Yeah. But now freshmen we're seeing playing on the varsity, not only playing but starting. Just didn't ever hear that in my day.
Nope.
Just off the outside corner strike. Pitcher for John Carroll, Brie Botkin. Brie 4-3 on the season. Her team 5-5 overall.
Checking her calls again on her little arm sleeve.
Line shot caught by the third baseman. Scalafani makes that catch. That ball, she had time enough just to get the glove out. Boy, that was a shot.
Yeah, well defended.
They call that the hot corner for a good reason.
That's right.
You better be ready. Kaylee Stein now. Kaylee sophomore, left fielder.
Interesting that the second baseman and the shortstop both have face masks on, and the third baseman is playing as close to the closest to the plate, besides the pitcher, of course.
That's a nice pickup, yeah. And we talked about that it is optional. I believe the pitcher is required to wear it, but it's optional for the other players. And if I'm a third baseman, especially after that live drive, I will say, hey, bring me the mask out.
Yeah, that's right. Equipment change.
You convinced me. Kaylee Stein missing on the curveball outside, a 200 hitter.
I think if I was a parent of one of these girls and they had any sort of orthodontics or anything in their mouth, I would say, you're wearing a mask.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yep. Swung on a missed. A nice riding pitch. The granddaughter who plays varsity softball, and it's a conversation between mom and granddaughter. Granddaughter doesn't wear it, and mom says, I wish you would. So I think that's an ongoing battle between those two.
You can't make her wear it.
Nope. Well, the thing is that nobody else wears it.
Right.
So mom, if I wear it, I'm a 8th grader playing on the varsity team. And they do that in the Christian League in North Carolina. And so she chooses to put her orthodontics at risk.
I think they look cool.
Yeah. So another missed. I am impressed with Brie Botkin, her repertoire.
She does move the ball around quite a bit. Leaves the batters guessing as to what might be coming next.
Carissa Ferguson, now the number 9 hitter in the Bel Air order. Bottom of the second inning, as you see, no score. Right over the knees. Strike is called. You may notice that the umpire, Patrick, is a little late on raising his arm, but he does yell out the call.
Yes.
So for us telecasters and you're watching it on TV, it looks like a late call, but he calls it right away and just takes his time raising his arm. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Line out to the third baseman and then a strikeout.
That's kind of how they teach you to do it in umpire school, Don. Maybe not quite as long as he's waiting, but you make the call and then you raise your arm. You make the verbal call and then you raise your arm. So it could be a little faster, but not a distraction since he's making the verbal.
Yeah, I understand that. I wish they would make the call right away because it helps, you know, knowing not only as a broadcaster, but also you're watching the game. You can't hear the call, but you know, it is fair to the players because he makes the call right away. No runs, no hits, no errors. Well, that's 5 strikeouts now in an inning, in 2 innings actually, for Brie Botkin, although 2 of those strikeouts back in the first inning reached base. That's the old trivia question. How can you, in a 7-inning game where there are 21 outs, strike out more than 21? Umpire now consulting with the John Carroll bench. By the way, we were talking about Sherry Hudson, this young lady who graduated from Falston in '85. She was a 3-sport star at Falston back in the 80s. Field hockey, basketball, and softball. Played Division I softball at Hofstra, was an academic All-American, has her MS from Hopkins, and now she works at Hopkins' molecular microbiology office. What in the world is a molecular biological office? I can't even say it.
Something you and I will never be. She's a very bright young lady. She's got a lot going on with in her high school and college days, being an athlete, receiving awards and accolades of all sorts, and being a brainiac as well.
Sherry Hudson now, line shot down the first base line. Foul ball.
We had a substitution, Don, that was not reported to us, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they were talking to the John Carroll bench, so we'll try to figure that out as we go. Tessa Boswell now the batter. Tessa is the first baseman. 294 hitter. Number 8 hitter in the lineup. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. It's that curveball again. Impressed with Kirsten Coppage, the way she moves the ball. Certainly not a fireballer, but she moves it around, not only in the terms of the spin and the movement of the ball, but up and down, side to side.
Yep.
And she's a lefty. Ooh, outside corner. Strike 3. The ball right on the corner. And we talked about, Cheryl, before the game off air, about facing a left-hander. Now, you played a lot of softball. You face a left-hander once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
What problem does it present?
Well, once in a blue moon, as far as I can remember, was I didn't want to see a lefty come to the mound. It's just something about seeing the ball from the other side.
Yep.
You don't see it as well. It's a bit of a twist of the brain, you know. You got to say it's the same pitch coming from the same location, but it's different. With
a different move. That's Ryan Pendell, by the way. You saw that rise ball coming and flicking off the glove of Lainey Levy. That ball she threw with some speed as well. Nice rise ball, came inside. Meeting it, knocking it foul, out of play. Pendell. Pendell, a 182 hitter, batting 9 in the order for John Carroll. You can hear the wind coming through our field mic. Maybe 8 to 9 miles an hour. Gusts sometimes, gusting in the mid-teens. Got low it outside. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. John Carroll 5-5 on the year. Bel-Air 9 and 6.
Choked up on this at bat.
Yep.
Makes you think she just wants to, yeah, just meet it, put it in play.
And that didn't happen. 2 up, 2 strikeouts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts here in 2 2/3 innings for pitcher Kirsten Coppage. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Sydney Dawson. Sydney fans looking back in the first inning. And Shell, we have a left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher, and that's even more difficult if you're a lefty hitter. The ball normally curves away from you. Used to seeing the ball coming in and up to you.
So if you're saying you get anything besides a straight fastball, it's more difficult. I've never understood that. Of course, I'm not left-handed.
Well,
but you'd think it would be righty-righty would be just as difficult as lefty-lefty.
Yes, except you don't see as many lefties. I think that's the problem if you're a left-handed hitter. You're used to seeing the ball curving into your power zone.
And
3 balls, no strikes.
Away.
Yeah. Dawson, a .351 hitter on the year, 3 doubles and 5 RBIs, 8 runs scored. Ball 4. Walk is recorded. So Sydney goes down to first base, and I'm not real good at predicting Cheryl, but I'd say she's off and running on the first or second pitch.
I'm thinking that is the case.
Yep.
She's the leadoff, and their whole job is to get on base and then advance.
Michaela Getz at the plate, fakes the bunt. Here's the throw down to second base. She is going to be
out.
Out at second base is the call. The throw from Levy, fielded by Abby Wizard at second base, and the out is recorded from 2 to 4. So we saw the attempted steal, but she's cut down trying to steal. But that was a nice throw and a nice tag. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 2.5. We have no score.
Don, that whole play changes just then if the batter's able to get the bunt down, just anywhere down. You might have a play at first, but definitely not at second base.
Yeah, it seemed like she just faked that bunt to try to get in the catcher's way, but you know, Levy said, no, that's not going to bother me. She jumped up quickly, caught the ball, got rid of it quickly. And I'm really impressed with that tag at second base.
That was nice.
And the head first slide by Dawson.
She's paying for it now. I saw her getting up and scraping some dirt out of her bloody elbows. And
we're speaking about that Patterson Mill game, and Kenzie Knight, the freshman sister of Madison Knight, who plays shortstop for Patterson Mill. She stole, what, 3 bases on the first pitch she saw?
Yes.
And I was just so impressed with her speed and her base running ability. That Patterson Mill team, which will lose their great pitcher this year, talking about coming up the next year, but they have a wonderful, you know, base team coming back. Plus, I understand a great JV pitcher coming up. So Patterson Mill will be a team to be reckoned with for years to come.
Yeah, Don, was there 4 freshmen on that team?
There
on
were.
The varsity team?
Starting, yeah, there were. Now the Bobcats come up. We're in now the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll come back to the top of the order. Kirsten Coppage, the pitcher. There's that curveball on the outside corner. Yep, there it was. I thought I heard Mr. Petrick call it a strike.
He did indeed.
And he confirmed it.
What was curious, I hope we can get some shots of the catcher here because she's moving outside with the pitch both times. That one was over the heart of the plate or even a little inside. This one was outside, and she will start behind the plate and then jump over.
2 strikes, no balls. Down low and outside. Catcher Julie Aragon, the freshman. Indoor track runner, 2nd academic honors at John Carroll. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's honor roll as compared to distinguished honor roll.
Probably.
Us public school people don't understand those terms. I do know it's good, though.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be.
Academically good.
Yep. Kirsten Coppage, a .409 hitter. Just the kind of leadoff hitter you want. Swung on and missed. Nice job there, held on to by Aragon. That'll bring up Tara Trisak. My partner has left me. I think I said something to offend her. No, she's over checking with Sherry Hudson to see what that sub was all about. Number 2 hitter is Tara Trisak. Here's my partner Cheryl coming back, putting her microphone on as we speak. Got some inside information.
I was just asking if they had a sub because I saw the umpire record it, but it was just a courtesy runner, no substitution.
One out now. Trisak at the bat. Trisak the first time up. Fanned, but reached first when the ball was fumbled by the catcher, and she was safe at first base on the pass ball. One of those 2 strikeout victims in the first inning who reached base. No runs. By the way, I hate to do this because it's the announcer's jinx. No, I won't say it.
Don't do it.
Ground ball shortstop. Moving is Anderson. Throw to first base. Nicely done. 6-3.
That's how you do it. You don't put any added stress on yourself. You just pick it up, make a clean throw. Don't rush.
Sophie Anderson, the sophomore, soccer player, Spanish Honor Society, second academic honors. Plays for the Churchville Lightning. A lot of those Patterson Mill players we found out the other day played for that Churchville Lightning team.
Yeah. Again, I say it's a good training ground for playing high school ball. You get educated there in ways that you don't do in a normal rec situation.
Sorry about that, Cheryl. That ball came right off the end of her bat, and good thing the fence was there because it would have wiped out about half the Bel Air bench.
Especially the girl fixing her hair. She had no idea.
The number 3 hitter, and this is what surprised me back in the first inning, she sacrificed the number 3 hitter with 1 out. You don't normally see that strategy with your number 3 hitter.
Yeah. Maybe they were expecting her to be safe. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
It's a good theory.
She squared and was, for all intents and purposes, a bona fide sacrifice. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Botkin with that nice curveball. Brie Botkin, 36 innings, 15 runs allowed, 24 Ks, 16 walks, 4-3, and a 2.92 ERA. Hilliard, a 357 hitter. Little line drive, and there's the base hit. And see, I didn't say it.
No hits?
And now Bel Air has a hit.
It's no longer a no-hitter.
Exactly. The old jinx about you never mention a no-hitter. And if you notice in the old days, the pitcher would come to the bench and nobody would sit near him. Nobody would talk to him.
Leave him alone. He's in the zone.
Brother at first now, 2 out. Bring up Lainey Levy, the catcher. First inning, she walked. Stranded at second base. Lainey has walk-up music. I like that. Did you ever have walk-up music? If I did, it would be Dolly Parton's Jolene. Would be my walk-up music. Probably not work though.
I thought you were going to say something like Rocky Top or
that would work
or the
too.
West Virginia.
Oh, that would work. Yeah, Country Roads.
Yep.
Yeah, either of those would work. Swung on, tip foul.
That caught the ankle of the catcher.
Julie Aragon says, now why did I sign up for this job?
You know, I was making a stupid comment a minute ago about how she sets up and then she moves outside. She's calling the pitches. She knows what's coming.
Yeah. Sherry Hudson, and the coach, is giving the signal out to the catcher Aragon, and Aragon relays it to the pitcher.
Sherry has so much history. So much experience, I should say. So much experience in softball that she thinks of every angle before it could ever possibly happen.
No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We saw Sherry come out and talk to the umpires in a very respectful but, let's say, forceful way on that call that came back in the first inning or second inning, that interference call.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, Cheryl, that right now is the call of the game. Instead of being first and third and 1 out, you had first with 2 outs.
Yes.
Just took John Carroll completely out of that rally that they were in. We played 3 full, no score in this game. Just what we hoped it would be, a tight game between arch rivals, the Bel Air Bobcats and the John Carroll Patriots. Cheryl, do you realize the last time these 2 teams played was 2019?
That's a long time ago, only not. Just 2 years ago, Don.
Yeah,
well,
three if you count
the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 years.
And of course we had the one season that was canceled, so in COVID. But
yeah.
Again, I say that so many times, and I understand at the IAAM, talking about John Carroll, you play, your opponents in that league.
Sure.
If you're Bel Air, you play your opponents in the Chesapeake Division and Susquehanna Division of the UCBAC. So there's not much room to play outside opponents, but just so good to see John Carroll and Bel Air get together.
Yeah, and I bet they're grateful to have a travel game that was 2 miles away instead of 15 or 20.
Very good point. And on senior day for the Bel Air Bobcats. John Carroll now in the top of the fourth, and Michaela Getz leading off. Michaela fanned back in the first inning. A nice job so far by Kirsten Coppage. Talk about hits. She's given up just the one hit. That hit was an infield hit that Sophie Anderson got back in the second inning. Remember, Sophie hit the ball deep to the second baseman who couldn't make the play.
Mm-hmm. The
One
wind
ball.
is kicking up enough now to be blowing some dirt around in the infield.
Ground ball wide of third base. Caroline Hilliard going over to take a look at the ball. By the way, Hilliard is also a great pitcher on this team. Hilliard is 5-1 on the season with a 1.98 ERA.
That ERA is impressive.
Yeah.
Of course, in high school ball, Don, a 4.0 or a 4 something ERA is not bad either.
Yeah.
But a one point, what'd you say?
1.92.
1.9.
So
almost
1.98 actually.
Yeah, almost a 2-point batting average.
Which makes Madison.
Or I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying.
Which brings up Madison Knight, who has a 0.00 in 76 innings this year. That young lady has not given up a run.
No.
One unearned run.
No.
3-2 count. Big count coming. Oh, nice job. Way to spoil it right on that outside corner. Michaela gets it. Hey, that's too close to take. Michaela, a junior center fielder, batting .393.
Yeah, Don, I was just going to say to our viewers, if you want to see exhibition.
Pop up going into right field, moving on to the right field, and makes the catch. That win, they called it. Carissa Ferguson making the catch. Nice play by Ferguson. Sorry, Cheryl.
That's okay. Just like to encourage people to get out and see some excellent pitching. Go visit Patterson Mill, a home or away, and you'll get a really good glimpse of what excellent pitching is all about.
As Coach Jeff Horton said, a generational talent in terms of Madison Knight.
She really is. She just is head and shoulders above other pitchers in the county.
Brie Botkin gives the umpire a long look. She wanted that pitch, and it looked like it may have curved around the plate a bit. Brie Botkin, her opposite number, the pitcher for John Carroll at the bat. This often happens in high school. Your pitcher is sometimes your best athlete. Brie Botkin is the pitcher batting number 3 in the order. Grounded back to the pitcher for the final out in that first inning.
And in contrast, the pitcher is the leadoff. Is that right?
Yep.
The pitcher is a leadoff for Bel Air.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that scrappy little left-handed hitter. Talking about Coppage. Botkin is .394 hitter with 11 RBIs outside. But I like how Botkin attacks the softball. Notice even when she takes it, she's ready to put a good swing on it. Right in the middle of the box, a little bit of an open stance. Oh, that inside curveball, ball 4. Let's see, that's the first walk of the game against Coppage.
We're going to get another courtesy runner for, I believe Megan is going in to run for
Botkin.
For Botkin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're waiting. Yeah, it looks like it's number 22.
Megan.
Yeah, that's Megan Ruth. Megan Ruth in as the courtesy runner with 1 out. Sophie Anderson now the cleanup hitter. Sophie got the only hit so far for John Carroll. That came in the second inning. That ground ball up the middle that was fielded by second baseman Wizard. Ground ball toward the first baseman. Fielded. Nobody at second. The throw is away. The runner will turn and go to third base here. The throw to third base. She is going to be safe at third and in safely at second base. So the error on the pitcher on the base hit puts runners at second and third base. Second baseman coming over to try to cover, couldn't get there quickly. In that particular case, you know, the pitcher wants to let the ball fielded by the third baseman and wants the tag to be made.
Yeah, I believe she should have and was capable of making that tag. She just was thinking, throw to the bag. She didn't realize how close she was.
Yeah. So
my words today, Don, my words are just stumbling out of my mouth.
Runners at second and third. Carissa Coates now, the freshman at the bat. One out, runners at second and third. John Carroll trying to break through. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Runner holds. Throw to first base. Oh, nice play by the pitcher. Good stretch there at first by Jaden Betters.
Nice pickup at first.
Good play on both ends. So the runners have to hold. Good job there by Botkin's replacement, Ruth, at third base. Had she gone, she'd have been dead to rights. So now the little freshman catcher, Julie Aragon, in a key position. 2 outs. Runners at second and third.
Don, watch how small her strike zone becomes when she squats over. It can't be more than 15 inches.
Remember, she's the one that hit that ground ball to shortstop last time up. That at first was called an error and runners safe.
Yes.
And then ended up being the interference call that turned that second inning all around.
Yeah.
Foul ball.
She liked that one. It's a good thing those spectators were paying attention.
Speaking of spectators, nice little crowd here sitting on the wall, the retainer wall next to the football field and behind us. Beautiful day. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Key part of the ball game again. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Ground ball, second base, moving is Wizard. Throw to first base, and they're out of the inning for the Bel Air Bobcats. Good play by Wizard.
Wow, stranding a lot of runners. They look like the Orioles. Both teams.
Don't say that. No
No,
runs.
that's strong defense. That's what that is.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 runners left on base. We have now played 3.5 with no score. Well, impressed with the Bobcats playing good defense there, especially with the play of Kirsten Coppage on that ground ball. Wasn't an easy play. She fielded it, turned all the way around like the 180 degrees, got good position, threw the ball to first base. And Jaden Betters made a really nice stretch to catch the ball.
Nice pickup, yes.
So good defense by the Bobcats. We remain scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
A lot of goose eggs up there on the board.
And the good thing is that we know that should they tie, they'll go to extra innings. And so we'll get free softball.
Free softball?
Yeah. The guys in the booth now, you saw the truck kind of waver. They're not big fans of overtime.
No.
No. Yeah, I can
You
hear
get the same paycheck no matter how many innings you play.
But Dylan Mock, who's the director today, and the entire crew, we don't say enough about how seriously they take their job, how important it is to them, and what a great job they do. Professionals in the field.
Very professional.
Yeah.
Speaking of in the field, Don, we've got some cameras in the playing area today.
We do.
That was the officials met together before the game with the coaches and decided that would be okay.
Yeah, it's normally not allowed because it's in play, and they have a ground rule. If the ball hits that camera, it's dead ball. And I think the umpires, realizing that the fences here are 10 feet high and we can't get a shot over the fence, so the only way we can cover the game is to have those cameras inside the fence. Happy they allowed that to happen. Speaking of Jaden Betters, they always say the girl who makes the great defensive play comes up to bat. Well, in this case, it does. It's Jaden Betters.
That works.
Jaden Betters, who made that great play at first base. Betters, who fanned back in the first inning, one of the players that got on the pass ball. 0 for 1, 375 hitter. Ball 1. Brie Botkin has gone all the way.
Julie made a nice scoop on that. Ball could have easily gotten away.
Ground ball shortstop. Anderson, throw to first base. Oh, and impressed again. Carol, Cheryl, you said it last inning. No wasted motion. not a lot of fuss or muss, just field the ball, throw the ball.
Yes. That's
like
how it's
it.
supposed to be done, but a lot of when you know you got speed on the bases or you're just concerned that you're playing deeper in the hole than you normally might, it's easy to rush yourself. But you always have more time than you think you do.
As long as you field it cleanly, the shortstop, that's good.
Right.
That's rule number one. You bobble it, just put it in your pocket because she's going to be safe at first. Kelsey Fleischman now. Kelsey is the center fielder, senior, 267 batter. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. It was the final out. That throw to third base, they got the force out. Pop foul, back our way and over our head. Cheryl's ducking.
Right off my head.
Oh, that's why they have a screen here, Cheryl. We're okay, we're safe.
No, I looked up at the ball and my headset went off the back.
That's not
I just tightened it up a bit.
Ground ball first base. That's Boswell. Easy play. Fields the ball, touches first base. Out is recorded, unassisted. 2 out. They'll bring up Elora Edquist. Elora, the DP. In baseball, we call it designated hitter. In softball, for some reason, they call it
player.
Designated player.
Because she can play any position and hit.
She can bat, yes. But she bats in place, in this case, of Abby Wizard, the second baseman. Mentioned that Laura's dad was here, and we had a chance to talk to him before the game. Proud papa, like all of us papas are. And as should be with his daughter, a freshman, starting for the Bel Air High School team.
Donna misspoke. The flex player can play in any position.
Thank you.
And not bad.
Yeah. Well, nice little change-up curveball. Talking to Sherry Hudson before the game, and we were emphasizing, yes, she can bat, can the flex, but if she does, then the DP is out of the game.
Yes.
But the DP, being a starter, can come back in once as a hitter.
Re-entry one time.
A little confusing, but it's a good rule that came back in the 70s. Pop up, second baseman moving on it. That's Coates. Coates making a nice catch, battling that win. 3 up, 3 down. No runs scored. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody on left. We have played 4 full at Bel Air High School. We have no score. Wow.
No score.
I like it. Good.
Lot of runners left on. Not a lot of hits.
Good pitching,
no
good
score.
defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a kind of game that you want to see, but it's not as much fun to watch.
You know, it depends. I'm a pitcher's duel kind of guy. I watch soccer when it's 0-0, and I fall asleep. You know,
That's true.
Paul Metzger and I have this conversation. Well, you watch baseball, it's 1-0, you think it's great. That's because every pitch is a potential home run.
That's right.
Okay, in soccer, they play around in the middle of the field, you know, and maybe, now my soccer friends are going to be mad at me.
Right.
But I admire soccer players because of their skill. But in America, I've always said that I don't think it'll become a major professional sport until there's scoring. People like to see, you know, scoring. And even in baseball, think about it, they made the rules so that there could be more scoring. Football, same thing. You know, they now make it so you can't touch the quarterback and the wide receiver is free to run. So the idea is to see runs being scored.
It is.
Thus ends our our editorial for the day. As we go to the top of the 5th inning, Sam Scalafani at the bat. Sam, the third baseman, who fanned, looking back in the 2nd inning. Sam, a .323 batter. Nice pitch by Coppage.
Good cut on a good pitch. It just under her bat.
Kirsten Coppage, a junior, 32 1/3 innings this year, 26 hits, 37 Ks, 19 walks. Ground ball, fielded, off the pitcher's glove, and it in for the base hit. For the great play she made back a couple of innings ago, that one she wasn't able to corral, and the base hit by Scalafani. Would have been a tough play for her to make that play and then turn and throw.
Yeah.
Run on it first, nobody out, leadoff hitter.
Got a little bit of speed on the base. Might be looking
Is she
for
bunting? Is she bunting?
steal.
Yes, she is. Bunt right in front of the plate. That's a beauty. Throw to first base, and the out is recorded. Good play there by pitcher Coppage covering Abby Wizard at first base. Scored from the pitcher 1 to the second baseman 4 on the sacrifice. Moving up to second base is Scalafani. Runner at second, 1 out, bringing up the number 9 hitter, Ryan Pendell. Ryan, a freshman. She is the DP, the designated player, a 182 batter on the year. Big situation, 1 out. On that outside corner. Pendell fanned swinging back in the third inning.
She's got that open stance, Don.
Squares to bunt, doesn't. Runner stays at second.
Nobody covering second.
Yeah.
She took her time getting back. Wonder what Stravinsky is thinking here with the potential lead run at second base, and we had some attempted bunts. What I was saying was she appears to have an open stance, like she would pull the ball.
2 strikes now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And her hands are up the bat, so she's just trying to make contact.
Struggled and missed for a big strikeout. 2 outs now. That runner stays at second base. Scalafani goes back now to the leadoff hitter. It's Sydney Dawson. Dawson walked last time up, was thrown out on an attempted steal, fanned back in the first inning, 0 for 2. Boy, right person in the right spot if you're John Carroll. The leadoff hitter, 351 hitter. Ground ball foul. She took that little left-hander punch swing.
Yes.
Trying to get the ball in play. Kirsten Coppage gone all the way on the mound. Now in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, when you're in the 5th inning, it's 0-0. You're looking for any way you can to get a run across the plate, as that may be the only run of the game.
Nice curveball. This ball moves about, 6-8 inches?
Yeah, I would say so.
2 strikes now.
I left my tape measure at home, too.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at second base. Swung on and missed. And she gets out of it, does Coppage, as she's done all game long. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We've now played 4.5 with no score. Very impressive game. Good defense, good pitching.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch, even though there hasn't been much hitting. Solid defense will raise your eyebrows, too. That'll get you excited.
Yep.
See great plays like that.
And again, it is John Carroll, it is Bel Air, it is senior day at Bel Air High School. Sho, you made the point about how the Bel Air Bobcat players came over and gave flowers to the John Carroll players. I assume that was the John Carroll seniors in the pregame ceremony. I've never seen that happen, that you give your arch rival flowers. Unless they were flowers coated with
No, it really was a nice gesture.
Very nice. Something these young ladies will remember the rest of their lives when they get to be old as I am, remembering their high school senior day when they were on nationwide, coast-to-coast international TV. You laugh, it's on the internet. It can be seen in Indonesia.
You're right. Anybody who... You keep using Indonesia as an example. How about
it's the most
Taipei?
It's the most out of place I can think of.
Okay.
Geography never had been a strong suit of mine. Actually, I taught geography, so perhaps it should be a strong suit.
You make me chuckle, Mr. Morrison.
There we go. Well, now we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and we send up Kaylee Stein, sophomore. Kaylee, who fanned in her only trip. Button for the base hit. Nice job by Scalafani, the third baseman, playing in close and getting a nice jump.
She was halfway down the base before that ball hit the ground.
Yeah. Nice speed there by Stein. Spelled K-A-L-E-A, pronounced Kaylee. I have a niece named Kaylee who spells it a good bit different than that. It's one of those names you can spell many ways. Another bunt attempt. This time misses it, 0-2.
Shows a little frustration at that. Maybe it was something that she might not have offered. Might not, should have offered, should have, might not have offered.
I understand what you're saying. Nicole Cosgrove, the Bel Air coach, giving signs. Nicole in her 4th year, Chris Bosley, the assistant coach. Bobcats coming off a 14-4 year last year in which they went to the state quarterfinals. Pop up, moving on at first baseman. And the second baseman comes from behind. I think maybe the wind blew it back.
I think so.
Second baseman Coates makes the play. I think that might have even been in fair territory. It was close.
It was in fair territory.
Looked
Not
like it was
by
going to be
much.
foul, all the way, and then the wind blew it back.
Yep, and the wind is blowing in exactly in that direction from the first base side across the diamond.
Coates made a nice job to be able to stay with it and make the catch. Bring up number 9 hitter Carissa Ferguson. Carissa, who fanned back in the second. Foul back onto the screen. Sherry Hudson showing she still has that hops. She's out there to get the foul ball and throw it back in. Sherry Hudson, the coach for the John Carroll Patriots. Michelle Wall and Erica James, her assistant coaches. Erica, by the way, is a 2017 John Carroll graduate. Aww.
I have known Sherry for so long,
Ooh,
and she's been married for a very long time.
Oh, the call was a strike. I'm sorry,
It's
Sherry.
unusual to see a first base, when the umpire's on the first base side,
Yeah, making the call.
to call on a lefty.
Yeah, because we don't have 3 umpires.
Yep.
So Rick Morris is make the call. It didn't look like to me she went. There's that curveball, just misses the outside corner.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ferguson, a .250 hitter on the year.
Anyway, I was saying I've known Sherry for so long, and she's been at Hudson for many, many years, a couple decades at least. She's got a couple of twin boys, but I've known her for so long, I still want to call her Sherry Stravinsky.
Yeah, you said that a while ago, and I said, who are you talking about? And you said Stravinsky, and so that was her Falston name, Stravinsky.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. My mystery is solved.
Mm.
2-2 the count.
Why didn't you call me on it? I could have explained.
No, I
You're not trying to embarrass me
didn't
today?
have enough knowledge to be able to call you on that. Oh, what a pitch. That curveball, high riding curveball for the strikeout. Both these pitchers have pitched a whale of a game. Brie Botkin. Botkin had 24 strikeouts in 36 innings. Not a strikeout pitcher by those stats, but she's done well today. Let's see, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts. Going through now 5 and 4 2/3.
That is very respectable.
Now here's Coppage, the opposite number pitcher for John Carroll. The leadoff hitter, she's fanned twice. Up high. Brie Botkin, a senior, the pitcher for John Carroll.
Don, were you ever a catcher in your years playing baseball?
Yeah, I did. I caught some back in Babe Ruth ball. Yeah, I liked it. I loved catching.
What is the hardest thing?
Getting hit. They call it the tools of ignorance, what you wear, the protective garb, and what they mean is if you're dumb enough to put on go behind the plate. Yeah, I caught for just a while. I liked it because you're in every play. You got to call the pitches. Shell, you have 2 young people here standing beside you. So
I'm more
cute.
enthralled with them than they are.
So cute. They're here to help us.
Yeah, and Grandma told them to keep their fingers outside the fence, so now they're touching the pole.
Up high and outside. With that riding rise pitch that Julie Aragon has had some trouble with. And again, she's not a very tall person, Aragon. And that ball moves so quickly, you've got to be able to get up out of your crouch quickly.
She needs to be sitting on a set of springs.
She's a freshman, and these kind of games you learn from. We talked about that idea of moving out to get that free lane to throw the ball toward the first baseman. Oh, curveball just outside. Full count now, 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, no score. Both teams have threatened, neither team been able to break through. So what do you throw here? You throw that rise ball?
I throw a changeup, but she doesn't appear to have one.
Down low, ball 4. Ball comes back to the backstop. And I like the fact that hustling down to first base was Coppage, forcing catcher Aragon to come back and field the ball.
Yes, don't dilly-dally.
So the walk is recorded. Let's see, that is the second walk. Yeah, the second walk of the game. Now the walk-up music for Trisak. Trisak, sorry Tara Trisak, the shortstop senior. She's one of the seniors who was honored here before the game.
Last time I heard walk-up music, I was at an Ironbirds game.
Speaking of Ironbirds, Hadley Rushman still playing for the Ironbirds. Not sure how much longer he'll be playing there. Hadley Rushman, the #1 prospect for the Orioles.
I've heard our mutual friend Carroll talking about him a good deal.
Yeah. Trisak now is 0 for 2. There's the bunt. That's going to be a tough play. Throw to first base. She's safe.
Everybody.
Both runners are safe. Going down is Coppage to second base, and Trisak is safe at first. And notice that Coppage they've chosen to leave Coppage in as a runner. They are eligible to have a DP or a courtesy runner for her. But Coppage is so fast, they're leaving her in. So the bunt single puts runners at first and second with 2 out. Brings up #3 hitter Hilliard. Hilliard 1 for 1, sacrificed in the first inning. Got a single to center last time up. Again, a big opportunity for the Bobcats. Outside corner strike is called for that curveball.
She too looks like she wants to pull the ball, but if the pitcher's going to pitch to the outside, you just sort of have to reach out and touch it.
Well, Coppage has got the speed at second base, so anything to the infield, you can bet she'll be around third base. 2 out, 2 on. Pop up, out of play. There goes Cheryl, losing her headset again. My partner is just having trouble, her headset flying off her head as she
I've got to stop looking at foul balls. Just, it's not productive.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 2 runners on. Fastball up high.
If I was coaching, I would be telling Caroline to close her stance up a little bit because the pitches are going to the outside half of the plate, and you want to get a hit here. So I'd be asking her to close up her stance a little bit and stay on the plate.
Up high. Ball 2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nice job by Julie Aragon. She's popping up out of her stance and threatening to throw the ball down to second base, where Coppage is getting a nice secondary lead after the pitch comes in. 2 out, 2 on, 2-2. The 2s are wild. Pop up, back. I got it. I don't got it.
See, I didn't look up for that one, and it almost crowned me.
Yeah. It was a little scary. Thank you. Just looking, coming over to get the ball was Ava Vecconi. Ava is a young lady who's been injured. Normally a third baseman, but the sophomore is injured. Ground ball foul. She came over and retrieved the ball. I told Ava I'd get a chance. She injured her hand last Sunday in a travel league game, so she's been out of the lineup now for the last game and a half.
Yeah, there's an upside and downside to travel ball. A lot of experience, a lot of education. But if you play while you're playing high school ball, your coach is not real fond of that.
Ground ball, third base fielded. Scalafani to first base for the out to Tessa Boswell. Well done. Took her time, made a nice throw, and so the threat is over. Well, you're right. Shortstop Anderson and Scalafani, the third baseman, both very smooth, making the play. So another threat goes by the boards, no runs. There was 1 base hit, no errors, and 2 runners are left on base. We have played 5 full innings. We have no score. Wow.
This just doesn't happen a whole lot in high school softball. Good pitching on both sides. Good defense on both sides.
Yep. Very heady play on both sides. Impressed with both teams.
And both coaches are being aggressive. With runners on, they're stealing bases. They're trying to get the bunt down to advance the runners. I'll tell you this. I'm even more impressed with Sherry Hudson for John Carroll, because I happened to glance over while her pitcher was pitching, and she gave signs to the catcher, and she gave different signs to the pitcher.
That's confusing.
It is. So you got to know which one you're looking at.
Yeah.
But I found that impressive. Like I said, Sherry knows the game inside out. She's got a lot of experience with softball, and she just brings every bit of her experience to the girls on the team. Gives them a better understanding of the game, understanding every potential play, what could happen, what do you do if it does happen.
Yeah, you called her a brainiac, and she certainly is that. What a role model for young women.
Yes.
You know, to be both active in athletics and being really good at your chosen profession.
Yes, and she's just a good person.
That besides, exactly. Well, now let's go to the top of the 6th inning and send up Michaela Getz. Michaela, the junior center fielder, flew out to right field, struck out back in the 1st inning, reached on that pass ball. Ground ball shortstop by the shortstop for the base hit.
That was
leadoff
smoked.
Base hit. It was that. Shortstop, in that case, Trisak had no chance. Dove for the ball, but it took a nice big high hop over her. Single to left field, runner on at first base on the first pitch, and that brings up the number 3 hitter in the order. That's Brie Botkin, the pitcher for John Carroll. Really like to help her cause here. Botkin reached on an error last time up. Takes a strike. Actually, she walked last time up, got to 3rd on an error to the pitcher.
Boy, that wind's swirling now, throwing up a lot of dust in the infield. The second baseman had to look away.
Down low, nice scoop there by Levy. That ball was in the dirt, and Lainey Levy just simply made a great catch. Impressed with Levy, the way she's played as a senior. It's the kind of leadership you want behind the plate.
Just a little bit high there. It's a good take.
I was waiting to see that right arm of Todd Petrick go up, but it didn't. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball 3, 3-1.
Nope.
Nope, no, it's a strike.
I heard the verbal, but I kept waiting for the hand.
You got me that time, Mr. Petrick. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball shortstop. Anderson, nice short hop. Gets the out at second base on the force out. Nice job by Trisak. Came in and got that short hop. Made the throw to Wizard for the force out at second base. So
Don, how can my ears be cold with ear muffs on them?
I don't know. Perhaps you need to wear a skull cap, as I have donned today.
Tried to put my hoodie up, but there's not enough room.
Looks like we got some kind of a change coming here.
It's just a courtesy runner, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looks like that's 22 again. Is that Ruth one more time?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Megan Ruth.
Megan Ruth, yep. Ground ball shortstop. Oh, nice play. Out, recorded at second base. You don't have to throw to first because that is the 3rd out of the inning. The force out, well, I am impressed with the way Trisak came over.
Don, that's only 2 outs.
Yeah, 2 outs. You're right. She could have thrown to first base. Sorry, Terry. You were right and I was wrong.
I think she didn't quite have time.
Yeah, it was recorded at second base. Yeah. 6 unassisted. 2 out now. Runner at first base. Up at the bat is Carissa Coates.
And John Carroll's swinging away now. They really are trying to put the ball in play this late in the game. You just want to get a run across.
Carissa Coates now is 0 for 2. Actually 0 for 1. She had a sacrifice first time up. Last time she grounded back to the pitcher on that nice play by Coppage. 2 outs. Runner on at first base. Top of the 6th inning. Ground ball through the hole. Base hit to left field. Nice job by Kaylee Stein getting down on the ball, making sure it didn't go through her legs. Runners now at first and second.
Seems like we've been here before, Don. 2 out, 2 on. You just want to get a run across.
Carissa Coates with the base hit.
And here's Julia at bat again.
Yep.
The spunky little freshman catcher.
I like spunky. I think she was up in this situation last time up, grounded out to the second baseman. She had runners at first and third last time up. job at Levy getting down and blocking that ball.
She's doing a great job behind the plate.
She is. Kirsten Coppage going all the way. Kirsten came in with a 4.29 ERA. Foul pop-up back to the left side, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big part of the game. All right, Cheryl Silence, you're the coach. Are you going to throw a changeup, a curveball? What are you going to throw here?
Your best pitch. Whatever your best pitch is, this is the time to throw it.
Good call. It's the high rise ball.
May
2
have
balls,
gotten
2 strikes.
A little away from her. I saw that she stepped a bit toward her inside as she released that ball. I think it left the ball outside, so I don't think she was intending to do that. Same thing there.
Curveball just outside. What a take. Aragon took that ball. They say she spit on it, meaning that she didn't even offer. Full count, 3-2. That means the runners are going to be off and running on the pitch. So, no, that's a strike 3. Yeah.
It was 3-1, Don.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried to correct you quickly.
Scoreboard said the 3-2, so now it is 3-2.
Yeah.
My bad. 3-2 now.
Now they're running. Everybody's moving.
Foul back, out of play. Good job there by Aragon, able to spoil that pitch. I think she realized she couldn't do much with it, so she reached out and sort of poked it foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Here we go again.
Key part of the ball game. There it is, the strike 3 on the inside corner.
That was just too close to look at.
Yeah. What a pitch by Coppage. She went with that little curveball that just broke enough to catch the inside corner. And I thought it was a good call by Petrick, the umpire. Sure, you mentioned too close to take. When the ball is that close, with a chance the umpire might call it, you gotta hack.
You do, and her coach let her know that too. She said it was a ball. She went back to the coach and apologized, but it was a ball. She said, I don't care what it was too close to take.
No runs on 3 base hits. There were no errors, and the bases were left. Well, they had 2 runners left on base exactly, so there is still no score. As we go now to the bottom of the 5th inning, bottom of the 6th inning, I should say. Excuse me, there were only 2 hits in that inning and 2 runners left on base. Wow, how is this thing going to resolve itself?
I hope by 1 run, but you know, both teams are playing so tough right now. Pitching is maintaining. Same pitchers, both pitchers still in the game, and they don't seem to be tired.
That's a really good thing about softball. Unlike baseball, we have that overhand delivery where your arm gets tired. You know, we think about Patterson Miller, go back to that again. But Madison Knight has pitched every inning except 2 innings all year. The backup pitcher has pitched 2 innings. She's pitched 76 innings, has Madison Knight on the year.
She's going to Syracuse, am I right, Don?
That's correct, yeah.
So once she's playing college ball, they will minimize her pitching. You just don't want to give up an arm that's good. You want her to be able to pitch for you for 4 years, and you don't want to fatigue that. But she's strong. You could say that about her. She's very strong.
Really like Lainey Levy coming up to the bat, the number 4 hitter, cleanup hitter senior, her walk-up music, and she was dancing to her walk-up music, which I like.
Well,
when
who
the game,
wouldn't?
Well, the game is tied. I'd be so tight and nervous I wouldn't be able to even walk. She's dancing on the way to the plate.
You're not a teenage girl, Don.
Good point. And never was.
And never will be.
Oh, goodness. I was talking to a young gentleman who was the class of 64 from Bel Air High School, and I thought, well, you know, he's kind of a little older, and I realized I'm class of 62, which made me a little bit nervous, but nice man. He knew my high school classmate, Dick Wilson, so we had a very nice conversation before the game. Really nice day here in Bel Air. The fans have gathered as we're coming into the later afternoon. Lainey Levy has walked and fanned. .432 batter on the year, the cleanup hitter for the Bobcats. Down low.
That was an oops.
By that you mean?
I mean, she hit her leg, I believe, when she released the ball, and it bounced in 4 or 5 feet from the plate.
1 ball and 2 strikes. outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. As you see, 0-0. Both teams have had scoring opportunities. Neither team has been able to break through.
You can hear the cheers from both team benches are
Look out.
starting to get a little louder, more enthusiastic. Somebody please score.
Nicole Cosgrove, the coach for the Bel Air Bobcats, had to do a little bit of a dance herself to get out of the way of that line drive.
She did, but she's smiling, laughing about it.
She's young. Young people can do that. Nicole is a 4th-year coach here at Bel Air. Teaches at Bel Air Middle School. Teaches phys ed.
Long commute from one school to the other.
Tip foul. She just got a piece. Brie Botkin, the John Carroll starting pitcher. 2.92 ERA on the year. 4-3 is her record. Her team 5-5 are the John Carroll Patriots.
Don, did you say?
Fine shot into right center field. Let's see if it falls, and it does for the base hit. Base hit into center field. That for Levy, her first hit of the ball game. So run on at first base now, and no one out. And I think this would be the spot for that courtesy runner, and it is the Bel Air Bobcats. Pardon me. Let me reach in and find out who that is. This is number 12, Maddie Waters, coming in to be the courtesy runner for the Bel Air Bobcats. I'm sorry, Shirley, interrupted you on that base hit. Maybe it was the base hit that interrupted you. I'm sorry. Oh, right when you were making your
I was going to ask you, how is John Carroll amongst their own division?
Jaden Betters now tries to bunt, but pops it up foul and out of play. Honestly, do not know. I can tell you what their record has been in the past, but this year I'm not sure where they rank in their league. At the time of the attempted sack, Jaden Betters, who didn't get squared around all the way. If you're going to sacrifice, your coach would tell you, sacrifice. Don't try to be cute. Just square around, get the ball down. She backs out now. Does Betters, waiting for something to happen. I'm not sure what the
They're waiting for the now catcher, now in the coach's box at first base, to get at least one shin guard on.
Yeah. Interesting that Levy, the catcher, who is that kind of a leader, that when she's not playing, she's coaching first base. Swung on and missed. Took off the bunt. Nice Botkin with that riding curveball she had. No balls, 2 strikes, run on at first base, nobody out. Waters, the courtesy runner, after the single by Levy. Nice take.
Tom, one way the game has changed since I played, when we had our third base coach gave us a sign and we were in the batter's box or at bat, it was always the signs like across the chest, the belt, the ear, the elbow. No, now they use numbers.
Yeah.
1, 3, 3.
Yeah. Well, that was a great pitch there by Botkin. Kept it out of the plate area, but it looked good coming in. It's what they call strike the ball. It was a strike until it got about 10 feet from the plate and then dove outside. 1 out now, and Kelsey Fleischman, Kelsey the center fielder, the senior, out 3 unassisted, reached on a fielder's choice 0 for 2. 267, bunting, puts it down, it's fair, and it will stay fair, and it's a base hit. What a bunt.
Wow. Yeah, Julie was expecting that ball to spin foul, and it just wasn't going to do it.
That's all she could do. Julie Aragon, as you're mentioning, that's all she could do is hope it went foul, and she waited until almost stopped rolling. Base hit, runners at first and second now. Waters, the courtesy runner, at second. On at first is Fleischman. Now it's Elora Inquist, the freshman DP. Elora lined out to the third baseman, popped up to the second baseman. You recall that line drive back in the second inning on the first pitch of the second inning, almost took the glove off Scalafani. Scalafani playing about even with the bag and now creeps in a step or 2. Almost, she was winding up to hit that ball, but decided to take it. 2 balls, no strikes.
Aragon does definitely not want to allow a pass ball at this point. We've only had one runner to third, and she was taken off the base by the called interference. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, he calls it a strike. Now that was your late call. 2 balls and a strike. I'm sorry, my ears are not picking up his call. I have to wait until he raises it on. 2-1. Runners at first and second. 1 out. Bottom 6th inning. Ground ball, first base. Fielded. Thinks about going back to first base, and do they get her?
Yes, got an out at first.
The call is out. Runners go to second and third.
Just by a step.
Yeah, that was close. First baseman Tessa Boswell delayed a minute, but then went and was able to make the play unassisted at first base.
And she did advance the runners, so now we have 2 runners in scoring position.
But 2 out.
Bel Air is just hoping for a base hit.
2 down.
Or a pass ball.
Yeah, or an error, or something. Kaylee Stein, the batter. Kaylee 0 for 2, fanned and popped up. Bottom 6th inning. Runners second and third, 2 outs. Foul back. Stein.
Good cut on the ball.
Just a sophomore. Tough position for a sophomore on senior day.
It's a tough position for anybody, anytime.
Absolutely.
Have 2 runners on, 2 out, and everybody's looking at you.
Talking about if you're a senior, you've got experience. You've been in this position many, many times. Sure, she has as well in rec ball. Swung on and missed on a nice high riding fastball. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, runners at second and third. Boy, think of the pressure that Aragon, you mentioned about pass ball.
Do not want to let one by.
And this fence is back, maybe 20 feet, so if it gets by her. Little pop-up, first baseman is going to make the play. Boswell right on the bag, and so the inning comes to a conclusion. We have now played 6 full innings, and there is no score. No runs, 1 base hit, actually 2 base hits. No errors, and 2 runners are left on base. We have played 6 full, and it is nothing to nothing.
I got a little flutter on my tummy. I thought something really was going to happen that inning.
I thought you were just hungry.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. Nothing as we go to the 7th inning.
I think the Techno team in the truck would object to me chewing on Ritz crackers.
Yeah, they're just hoping for a run because we're now in a situation where no runs in the 7th inning. We go to free softball.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Chuck Thompson used to say the folks are as good as the people. I never understood exactly what that meant, but I thought it meant that
he was full of oddities, wasn't he?
He was. Chuck Thompson, and young people will say, who in
is
the world?
Chuck Thompson?
He was the Baltimore Colts when there was such a team as the Baltimore Colts. Not that I'm bitter about that. And the Baltimore Orioles for many, many years. And just had, he said.
The broadcasting voice, you'll never forget.
And he said one of his favorite was, go to war Miss Agnes. And they asked him where he got that. He said he played golf with a minister who, when he missed a putt, wanted to curse. And he used the term, go to war, Miss Agnes. And Chuck picked up on that. Oh, well, here we go. Top of the 7th inning. Scalafani, the third baseman, who is 1 for 2, got a single back to the pitcher last time. Fanned back in the 2nd inning. 323 hitter. 1 strike, no balls. On the outside corner, we heard that one, 0-2.
Tessa is way up in the front of the batter's box. Before the game, we saw the umpire walk over and wipe that line out, assuming that it was too short for a regulation batter's box. But she is way up in the front of it. I kind of was expecting her to attempt a bunt to get on.
Ooh. I wait.
It had to be low.
I wait 2-2 because
yeah.
Mr. Petrick has that late arm action, and I thought maybe he was going to ring her up on that one. Swung and tip foul, just not able to hold the ball, is Lainey Levy. Lainey a little angry with herself that she wasn't able to hang on to that tip foul. Sam Scalafani, ground ball, moving third base, foul ball. Good job by Hilliard coming in to make sure it was foul. Some folks don't understand that the ball could hit something and go back fair.
Yeah, especially the edge of the grass.
Yeah.
This field seems to be in really good condition, that there's not a high rise between
Back to the pitcher, Coppage.
dirt and grass.
Coppage makes the play. I'm impressed with the way Coppage has fielded her position.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets rid of the ball as a pitcher, she becomes an infielder. Sometimes you don't see that. Sometimes you see a pitcher who's thinking only of,
I have to pitch.
pitching the ball.
Yes, yeah. Don, one time way long ago, I was in a tournament down in Florida, and I was named Defensive Player of the Game, and I was the pitcher.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
Tessa Boswell at the plate, swings and misses at the first pitch.
It helped a lot that the other team hit up the middle.
Yeah, and it helped that you were the voter in the case.
Oh,
no, that's
on.
not true. Shortstop, Trisak, throw to first base for the out. Again,
Actually,
nice play by Trisak.
pardon me for bragging about it. I said Defensive Player of the Game, but it was actually Defensive Player of the Tournament.
Oh, yeah, you were being
So,
modest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit bigger than that, and my head just blew up an inch or so.
Looks like we have a pinch hitter now, number 17. These are not in numerical order, so I'll have to search my scorecard to see number 17. And actually, she's the last one, Ariella Vogel. A-R-I-E-L-L-A. Ariella Vogel. Freshman. Now
Woo,
batting.
that's a good little gust.
Yeah. As the wind has blown dust right in our face, which indicates the wind has changed direction. It was going out, and now it's blowing in. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the top of the 7th inning. No score. Just a bit outside. So Vogel in for Pendle, or Pendel, I'm sorry. Nope, on the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes, just off the outside corner. I think I would take this one if I were the batter.
I think I would.
Got to get on base. Shows what I know. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field, just over the shortstop's head, which is why I'm announcing and not coaching.
That cued right off the end of the bat. Just enough to get over the shortstop's head.
Trisak went back, made a little half jump for it. It looks like Sherry Hudson is out talking to umpire Petrick. There's going to be, I think, a courtesy runner. This is Megan Ruth, number 22, who's been the consistent courtesy runner. She'll be on at first base now.
Long legs.
Do you steal here? Do you get in scoring position?
I think you're supposed to get into scoring position.
Leadoff hitter is Sydney Dawson at the plate. Sydney has walked and fanned twice. 7th inning, 2 out, runner at first base. Lainey Levy has shown a good arm and a good release on the ball, the catcher for the Bobcats. Inside, ball
First
one.
one's a take.
And no indication that Ruth was going to be running, although now she's looking at her coach.
And she's a lefty, so she's got the advantage of going down that side if she bunts.
Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 7th inning. No score. Ground ball, foul. A kick save attempted by the coach at first base. 2 strikes now. Ball and 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter Dawson, 351, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs. She'd love to coat a ball just about where it says softball in that right center field area.
Yep.
Outfield's fairly shallow, by the way, especially center fielder. Tip foul just off the end of the bat.
Barely got a piece of that pitch.
That's that curveball. Kirsten Coppage, if we haven't said enough about her today, we should. She has just been sterling.
Yeah, very consistent.
Coming in with a 4.29 ERA. Ground ball, second base, moving. That's Wizard. Wizard has it, throws to first. Out is called. Out by a half step. 4-3. That was another close play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We have now played 6.5 innings, and the Bobcats have set themselves up for a walk-off win. Can they score on Senior Day?
It would be a nice way to end the game on Senior Day, is to have a little, just 1 run.
Speaking from a Bel Air perspective, if you're John Carroll, probably not exactly the ending you'd like to see.
But, you know, you really can't. I mean, scoring a run is very fortunate in this game. It's been strong from start to finish, and so you can't fault anyone. You know, just strong play. So somebody's got to win the game. Somebody's got to lose it.
I remember as a coach that I say this, I would rather have lost 10-0 than 2-1, because 10-0, you know, the game was out of reach. No decision I made, no play was the difference. We just lost that game. We got outclassed.
Yeah.
If you lose 2-1, you go back and you replay every play and every situation. I could have done this. You know, the team could have done that.
So we really are looking at the second inning when the interference was called, or third inning possibly.
Let's go back and look for John Carroll. It was the second inning. That's correct. So now we go to the leadoff hitter, who is the 9th hitter in the order for the Bel Air Bobcats, Carissa Ferguson. Ferguson, who has K'd both times up, swung on and missed. Ferguson, a .250 hitter on the year. Bottom of the 7th inning, a run here means the game is over. No run, and we get extra innings.
And you keep calling it free softball. I didn't pay a ticket to get in here.
You didn't? You snuck in. I saw.
Yeah, I came in from the other field.
Craig Reddish, where are you? Athletic director. We have an interloper. 2 strikes.
Loping indeed.
No balls, 2 strikes. Now if you're Ferguson, all you want to do is put bat on ball. Make the infield make a play. Ooh.
It's a good thing that didn't happen in the last inning.
Yeah.
A very good thing.
Yeah, when they had runner at third base. Been impressed
Clutch
with
softball.
both teams. Both teams have played well.
Yeah.
Both pitchers have pitched well. Both coaches have pushed the right buttons. Just nobody's been able to get that key hit.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to play clutch.
Down. Ooh, strike is called. That curveball caught just the edge of the plate, right at the knees. My partner is shaking her head. Do you think that was a bit low?
I have no comment.
Too close to take.
Too close to take.
With 2
Let's
strikes,
leave it at that.
Got to be swinging.
That's right.
Kirsten Coppage, the pitcher for Bel Air, now batting. Kirsten walked last time up.
I'm a little concerned that these 2 little tykes over here are throwing balls at each other. And as we discussed the other day, they are not soft balls.
There's the strike. Yeah, now Mama comes over and says, cease and desist.
Yeah, forthwith.
Yeah, stop it, in other words. Pop up, left field, moving on to this Dawson. She'll make the catch. Ball had some carry on it. 2 out now, nobody on. 1 out away from extra innings. Tara Trisak. Tara, a senior shortstop. Got a single last time up off the pitcher's glove. Actually, it was that bunt single last time up. Grounded out to shortstop and fanned, reaching first base on a pass ball in the 1st inning. 1 for 3. Throw it outside. We're talking about Coppage. We'll give a lot of credit to Brie Botkin, too. She has pitched well the entire game. Bel Air has 4 base hits. Up high. 2 balls, no strikes. I got to take a pitch here if I'm Coach Cosgrove. Got to get a runner on base. Down low. 3 balls, no strikes. could we see the first instance of Botkin maybe tiring just a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of looks like she is. She's slowing down her delivery as well as just not being as sharp.
3 balls, no strikes. You know she's taken. Oh, I think she got hit by the pitch.
Yes, she did.
Not that it matters because that would have been ball 4 anyhow. But we'll say hit by the pitch. Runner on at first base. Trisak, and the time is called now.
Oh, she'll have to show for that as a sore spot.
Yeah. And if she's able to come around and score, she'll be very happy to show that as a sore spot.
Yeah.
So now with 2 outs and your third hitter up, Caroline Hilliard, who's grounded out to third base, got a single to center and a sack back in the first inning, 1 for 2 officially. Umpire Todd Petrick goes out and says, let's break it up. It is getting late in the afternoon. Caroline Hilliard coming in at a .357 batter. Again, if you wanted to hit her up, it is your number 3 hitter, and that is Hilliard. 2 out, runner at first base. I expect her to be off, and I'm wrong.
And you would?
Wrong again.
It's just an expectation, Don. That's all it was.
It is consistently wrong. My coach used to say, be consistent. I said, I am wrong all the time. What do you want from me? 1 ball.
Well, we see a bunt.
Line drive center field. That's a base hit. Turning and going to third base, and the throw is going to go wide. Here comes the runner home. The throw to the plate. She is saved at the plate. The Bobcats win the game on a walk-off base hit, 2-base error by John Carroll, and that is your ball game, 1-0. What a
that happened
terrible
fast.
Way to end the game if you're John Carroll.
Oh my goodness, I feel so bad.
The throw
was
in.
Offline.
It came in sort of halfway between third and short. The pitcher wasn't backing up. The ball went to the backstop or went to the third base area, picked up, thrown to home, but scoring on the speedy running of Trisak, who comes all the way from first base to score the winning run as the Bobcats win it on a 2-base throwing error, win it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And no extra innings, Don.
Darn.
No extra innings.
1 run, 2 hits, 1 big error.
Exciting for the Bobcats that they get to win at home on senior day.
But what a devastating, the throw. I first of all was a little surprised that Trisak turned and went to third. A good throw and she might have been out. But the throw was thrown toward the home plate side of third base and went all the way to the left field fence. It was fielded there by the third baseman, and the throw to the plate, not in time.
Just late. Yeah, I bet in previous innings, Don, you wouldn't have seen that because they were not so desperate to score a run.
Yeah.
You keep them running on the bases as long as you can when it's bottom of the 7th inning and it's nothing.
Especially with 2 outs, you go ahead and you take the chance. I understand that. If you're the pitcher, of course, what you want to do there is you want to back up the throw. In other words, if the throw is going to come to third base, you want to be in a position to back that up. But again, the throw from center field, wide of the base, it went all the way to the fence, picked up the throw to home, and just the speed of Trisak. And give her credit, she didn't stop.
Yes.
She hit third base, turned third base, and she is gone. Wow. So the win for the Bel Air Bobcats. They go now to 10-6 on the year. John Carroll drops to 5-6. The winning pitcher is a complete game by Kirsten Koppich. The hard luck loser, Brie Botkin, who loses on that 2-base throwing error here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cheryl Silence, what do you think?
Wow, I was really impressed with the pitching on both sides. Really strong showings for both pitchers. And we saw a little bit from the catchers, too, of controlling the game and making strong plays. It's very unfortunate for Coach Hudson to have her team lose based on 1 error.
course, they scored no runs. So, I mean, looking at it from that perspective, if you don't score any runs, you're not going to win.
Again.
So, you know, had you scored a run or two, had that interference call not been called back in the second inning,
yeah.
And again, as I said to you, Cheryl, when I look back as a coach at a game like this, I'm going to replay it all night long. I'm going to get zero sleep because I'm going to think about every play that I could have called something different or something, could have happened differently. But what an exciting game to watch, and what a great finish on Senior Day for the Bel Air Bobcats. Happy to see on the field again John Carroll and Bel Air team conversing one with the other because they are neighbors. After all, many of them probably playing on the same team. So what a game. 1 run, 6 hits, just 1 error for the Bel Air Bobcats. For John Carroll, they got no runs on, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 base hits. They made 3 errors, including that huge error there to end the ball game. Losing pitcher Brie Hopkins, she goes now to, Brie Botkin. She goes to 4-4. The winning pitcher is Kirsten Coppage. She goes now to 3-2. Show silence. It's been a pleasure. What a ball game it was.
And it was nice working with you, Don. It's nice to have a little sunshine on our shoulders.
It was, and the wind wasn't too bad. It was a great game. Hope you've enjoyed it. This Harford TV presentation of the Harford Showcase Sport event from Bel Air High School. It's the Bel Air Bobcats winning by a final score of 1-0. Good night, everyone.